finished my prep, or at least I'm not doing that show anymore, I thought that I would start posting more videos about different topics and things that were interesting to you. So if you have any ideas, feel free to comment them below. But basically, I thought I'd share more about myself and yeah, basically just answer common questions or just help with diet things because that's where I'm more knowledgeable, I guess you could say. So anyways, today's video is going to be about my story of how I got into fitness and how I got to where I am today with the whole bodybuilding thing and competing in figure and basically just where I started at the very beginning. So this might end up being multiple videos if it turns into a really long talk, but I'm going to try my best. I thought I'd share it because I've never really said the whole story. Like, I've shown my transformation video, but I never really explained much of my situation and life in the past. So I'm going to tell you about it now. So to start off with, I was in high school, and this is where everything started, I guess you could say. So I was never like really overweight my entire life. Like, I went through phases where I would like be a bit heavier, and generally, like, I liked food. I always was really interested in food and stuff, but I ate decently well. Like, my family never ate too awful. Like, we'd have pizza pretty much every Friday. That was just sort of our thing. And we'd have desserts every night. After dinner, my mom would always make something. It was always homemade, though. We didn't really eat out a lot. But generally, overall, like, my health was pretty good. I always was doing pretty active things like swimming, or I played soccer one year. Just like generally good health. When I got into high school, of course, you get into that whole scene of like you start thinking about things more and you compare yourself to other people. So I guess that's when I started getting interested in looking up things to do with diet. But I didn't really know where to start. So basically I would just do workouts in my basement. I got really into beachbody.com for a while. So I would do like all these random workout videos like spontaneously. I never ended up actually like completing programs or anything. I would just do them for a couple weeks and then sort of move on to the next thing. So basically I would try out every program. Like, I did like this dance sort of abs video. I did insanity, a bunch of different things. But a lot of it was cardio based. I also got a exercise bike for one of my birthdays, and it was just an old bike from a yard sale, but I still have it today, and that bike started basically everything because I would do cardio on it. I'd get up really early and do like maybe 10 minutes of HIIT cardio before school or something. But that was about it. I wasn't really losing weight or anything. I was just, I guess trying to, but I wasn't really making much progress. So anyways, I kind of just stayed like that for a while. I was pretty like in between being, I don't know. I was basically just healthy. It was fine. And then in grade 10, I found out that I had severe scoliosis. It was just really random, like I'd never known before. Just one of my friends one day said like, oh hey, like your shoulder blade is sticking out a lot. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, I never really thought about it. I just thought that was the way I was. And then, like, my mom asked me to, like, bend over so she could look at my back. And then she just, like, was shocked because apparently my spine was, well, it was basically like a big S shape. So she took me to the doctor, and again, my doctor was shocked as well because she said I was always fine before, but I guess it's because I went through a growth spurt and this is what happened. So, I basically had to schedule surgery as soon as possible. So, that was really upsetting to me because it was nothing I was prepared for, and I was always so active and stuff, and I just didn't want to have to go through this because it was going to be a year basically to be completely fully recovered. So I didn't really tell a lot of people about it, and then eventually the day came that I had to have surgery. I believe it was November 29th or something like that. I went in for surgery, and I told all my friends, a lot of people, I just told them that day I was leaving. I was going to be out of school for a month. So I said bye and went in, had a 6-hour surgery, and woke up with 20 screws and 2 titanium rods holding my back straight. I was like really not feel like, I don't remember much of the first day, to be honest, because I was on so many drugs, which is a good thing because I probably would have been in pain. But I was in the hospital for about a week recovering. I had to basically, like, the weirdest thing ever was sitting up for the first time with these things in my back, and it felt so weird. Like, I could totally feel them. Like, it was just strangest feeling, and it wasn't good. Obviously, it was painful, but yeah, standing and walking were like new things again. Like, it was kind of hard, but recovery was still like not bad. Like, it went pretty quickly in the hospital, and then I got home, and I had to recover at home. Like I said, for a month I was out of school, and the only thing was I couldn't bend over at all, so I had like one of those little like garbage picker uppers, and I would like use it to pick up things and like put my socks on and stuff. Yeah, and then in bed, like, I had pillows like surrounding me everywhere because I couldn't roll over on my own or anything. So that was fun. Basically during that time I didn't eat a lot because of the surgery. I wasn't active at all, obviously, after, but I ended up losing a lot of weight. I became really thin. So that was not really what I was going for, because I'd always been kind of interested in being like stronger. So also because of surgery, they cut the muscle in my back, so I had like no muscle anymore back there. So I was just very, very weak after. I felt like I had no energy to do anything. Even walking would be like the biggest task. Like, I'd be so tired just from walking downstairs or something. So that took a long time to recover from, but at like 6 months I was able to start swimming again and just doing like light physical activities, and it was really good. I was feeling better, and so eventually I asked my surgeon if I could start lifting like light weights and stuff, and I got like, he said it would be okay. So this is sort of when everything started, because after then I'd started to put on a bit more weight again. I was back to my normal weight, but again I was still pretty weak. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna get into fitness and stuff again, because for a while I wasn't very motivated because of the surgery, and my dad's sort of the one who got me motivated again, because he's like, oh hey, like, we should do a workout video again. Like, we used to do those and now you don't do them anymore. I was like, yeah, I don't know. When the new year started, like, I was like, alright, I gotta do something with my life. So I started P90, which is basically a slightly easier version of P90X, if you've heard of it. I think Tony Horton was the instructor in the video, and it's another Beachbody.com series, but anyways, we started that one together, and I would do it in my basement every day and just try and work my way up in strength. And it's a 90-day program. I actually ended up completing the entire thing, which is the first time I've ever done that with anything. And I was really, really into it at that point. Even my diet, I had started to change. Like, I live at home, so I would still eat like the dinner my mom would make, but I would try and make all my own meals for breakfast and lunch and do all these really healthy things. But so that's what I was doing, and I actually did see progress. I was losing a bit of weight. So I wanted to keep it up after the video was done, but I was really tired of doing just the videos. So what I did was start making my own workouts, and I would do my own plan. I got more interested in weights. I ended up going to a yard sale and buying a bench set with like a barbell and dumbbells, but at that point I didn't really know how to use them properly, so I did mostly just free weights and things like that. So it just sat in my basement for a while. But again, I was very into my own program. I was doing more cardio. I was doing everything at home, though. I didn't go to the gym at that point. And eventually I asked my parents, I was like, I really want to get more into this, so I'm going to start making my own dinners. So I stopped really eating what they would make, and I started making my own things. I started becoming more aware of my calorie intake, so I would really monitor it. But I don't know. This is sort of when it started to go downhill a little bit, because I had a low point. So became a little obsessed with calories at that point. I would be tracking them very closely, and I would try not to go over too many each day. I was eating very little, like a lot of egg whites and just Greek yogurt and stuff like that. A lot of chicken. And then again, just exercising a lot. And it wasn't even that I was doing that much cardio, it's just that I was eating so little. So I also signed up for bodybuilding.com at that point, and I started to figure out what macros were, which is fat, protein, and carbs. But at that point, I didn't really know about the diet, if it fits your macros or anything. I was just looking at macros because I thought it was interesting information to know. But I didn't really understand the ratios of anything, so I thought fat was still bad at that point. So I was keeping fat at 15 grams a day, which is awful. If you know anything about your fat intake, that was extremely low, and it was not smart of me to do that. And my carbs were also very low. It's maybe like 88 grams of carbs and like mostly just protein every day. And then I stopped paying attention to calories. I was just looking at the macros at that point. So I would just try and eat a lot of protein, not many carbs, not much fat, and that's all I was doing. And so I stayed like that for a long time. I would just track my macros, and I thought I was doing so good because I was paying attention to macros now and not just calories. And I was losing weight like crazy. Lost weight really, really fast. But then eventually my family started telling me like you look too tiny, like I think you're losing too much weight. And I was just like, oh no, like I'm doing macros, like I'm not trying to lose weight. Like my goal really wasn't to lose a bunch of weight. Like I didn't want to be one of those tiny skinny people. Like I wanted muscle. I was never really interested in the tiny skinny look. So I told them like this is not what I'm trying to do. Like just like I know what I'm doing. But then I just kept losing weight, and like people were telling me I looked bad. They were like, yeah, Sam, you're not looking good, and yeah. So at that point I was like, okay, something's wrong. I'm not doing this right. So I tracked my calories for one day to see what they were because I never really figured out the calories. I would just look at the macros, and I was only eating like 800 or 900 calories a day. Yeah. So this is the point when I was like, all right, something needs to change. I need to start eating more. I feel awful about how I look. I'm not gaining muscle. So this is when I went to the next stage of my, I don't know, I guess you could say transformation or lifestyle change. And I will talk about that in my next video, part 2 of this random blabbing. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that it's a lot of talking, but it's a very long story, but I'm going to try and get through it all. Okay, so I'll see you in part 2.